All right, so by now this thing has truly come alive by applying the second color coat and the color chips if you cast that in to your second color coat. And the crowning jewel on all of this is simply applying the finish clear coat over it all to protect it and safeguard it so that you don't ever have to apply it again, as well as the finish clear coat. So the footage that you will see here is how you're going to apply that, the tools that you'll be using to apply that. You'll see that they're all the same. It makes it very simple that way. And you'll be able to see the material that we use for the clear coat. And here again, just as a reminder, you can use any clear coat finish that you want to. This is just what we simply choose to keep things simplified and easy for you as a do-it-yourselfer to apply without it becoming complex, with it becoming a part A and a B that's going to flash in a very short period of time, making it difficult to apply it in a timely fashion. So enjoy your education here in applying the finish clear coat on the epoxy color coat and chip application that you've applied, and hope that you'll find that this is as rewarding as the other segments have been for you. This is our clear coat product that we're using in our demonstration in this course. You'll have the PDF downloads too that you'll want to print off so that you can have those handy for you to refer to as you break open the packaging and begin to mix the product and apply the product. You'll get all the details as we've highlighted in here that you'll need to know so that you're all the much wiser. So here it is. We've got a part A and a part B. It's a two-part component. It makes up 1.25 gallons total. At the end of our mixing here, we'll end up with 1.5 gallons because we like to add just a little bit of water, as you'll see demonstrated. We like to use the margin trowel to scrape out the bucket. We like to use a cordless drill so it's not in way of a cord along with the grout mixer. This works out really super sweet. You'll see how this all works and comes together. You can use any cordless drill that you may have that's got the 3/8 inch shank for you to put that paddle mixer into. So let's break this stuff open. We'll demonstrate how we put these components together and the system in which we like to use to be able to assemble this and have it all ready to go. So we're going to pop the lid on this, and the first thing that we're going to do is we'll mix the part A side by itself just to make sure that it's all thoroughly mixed and all consistent. We're going to use a 2-gallon bucket to put all of it in together. This helps give us just a lot more room to work with as opposed to trying to pack it all inside of the 1-gallon bucket that's here. So once that's mixed, we're going to pour that into the 2-gallon bucket, and then we're going to be ready to put in the part B as well. So you're going to mix this roughly 2 to 3 minutes, and once that is all consistent and thorough and you've got it all scraped out and put into your 2-gallon bucket, we're going to use some water that you'll see here to kind of rinse out the 1-gallon bucket that we're scraping here of the side A, which is the resin, and side B being the hardener. It's just a conservative approach here. We're just trying to take advantage of all the material that we possibly can to maximize the square footage and coverage that we're going to be doing on our project, whatever yours may be. This one here is a garage floor that you'll see demonstrated. And so from here too, you'll want to just take note that it's always smart and wise to clean off your tools as you go. Otherwise, the product itself will get hard on your tools and you won't be able to reuse them again, or else if you do, that's just an impediment on progress there, because once things get set up on your tools, they just don't work as smoothly and as consistently as you would like to. So now we're going to put in the hardener, and once that's mixed in there, that begins the chemical reaction, that begins the clock, and so your time now is ticking for that projected 3-hour pot life. And we're going to use some water to put into the hardener container and make sure that we can maximize and get everything out of that we want. The product by itself without any water is super thick. It can be a little bit difficult to work with and move around, and so we find that if we'll add about a quart of water to the product, that we get a little better consistency. We can move more smoothly without too much trouble, working with a 4-inch brush along with our 3/8-inch nap roller covers when we're putting down the product. So you can see here I'm putting some water into the resin container. I'm going to shake it up and just make sure I get all of that resin out of there that I can possibly take advantage of, and put it into the 2-gallon bucket. And then we're going to mix those two together. We're going to mix these roughly 3 to 5 minutes just to make sure that the chemical reaction is going to be complete and thorough. There is a note in the SD chart that there is about a 5-minute induction period once you've got this all mixed. We've discovered that over the course of 40 some odd years that we've been applying the product, induction time to stand by and just wait for it to kind of take its course in an induction period is not necessary. There's enough downtime between transporting the product after it's mixed thoroughly to your job site, whatever that might be, that passage of time is enough time to give it to be inducted and take its chemical reaction so that it will get the proper adhesion that we're looking for. So mix this really thoroughly. These are the two components, A and B, now that we're putting together so we can create this catalyst that's taking place in the chemical reaction of these two components. Remember that we're working with water base here, obviously, since we've been adding some water to it, and that's what makes this product so user-friendly. Other products that are solvent-based do not give you quite as much of a pot life, and so this is preferable because it's just so much more user-friendly, as I mentioned, and it just gives you so much more time to work with it as well. So these are a good, durable, long-lasting sealer component for a clear coat. This is the epoxy side of this product. The sheen, as far as how it reflects when it is cured and dried, is not quite as brilliant as a solvent-based sealer like a urethane. That'll be something that you can choose as an optional clear coat on your project if you want to. There is a noticeable sheen difference and richness that comes from the urethane clear coat, so you can decide. We'll show you what of this same product line of the urethane water base that you can use as well. This is the high performance clear coat urethane that I had mentioned to you. We've also provided in your course the PDF downloads if it is that you would prefer to go this route. It's a little bit more expensive, not a lot more, but if you do want a little bit more of a high glossy sheen finish on your product, then this is a great way to go. We're going to get our tools all lined up like we always do prior to getting all of this applied and then put into place. So make sure that you have this all streamlined. This makes your job go so much smoother if you've got all of your tools ready to go. Your roller covers on your roller frame attached to your pole, and the smaller miscellaneous tools that we're going to be using here with the 12-inch roller frame and a 6-inch roller cover. This is a 3/8 inch nap that is preferable, that we're going to be demonstrating here in the instruction. So once again, this is all assembled together. We're going to put this pole and this 4-inch flat paintbrush together. We're going to tape that and make that, as you'll see, and make that an extension for us to be able to utilize that to stand up as opposed to bending over during this application period. Just as it was with the two first epoxy coats, our process is repeated over again here also with the clear coat. You can follow along with me here as we begin to apply the clear coat on the vertical portion of our project here. In this case here, it's a garage floor. We're going to do the stem wall or foundation wall, everything that's vertical first, and that way we can really smoke and go when it comes to just doing the flat portion or the horizontal part of this garage floor's concrete surface. So this little 6-inch roller is perfect. It's got that 3-inch nap that makes it perfect for getting in corners as well. It's got the fabric that goes all the way around the end of the roller cover, and it just makes it so sweet to be able to get into tight spots and even areas that are pitted. In some of this case where we're dealing with a foundation, there are some areas that have air pockets, and because of the fabric and its flexibility and absorption rate of both the epoxy and the clear coat, it just makes it super easy to put it into place. So everything that's just outside of the perimeter of the garage floor we're going to do. So all these steps and the porch landing here that you can see, we're going to get all of that done first. And then with all of the vertical and the porch steps and the landing completed, then you'll see here as we go forward how much more quickly you're able to do the horizontal portion. That makes it even a lot easier. It's not quite as slow as it is when you're doing the foundation part. These are a little bit slower because you've got smaller areas. When you're doing the vertical part of the foundation wall, you're always down on your knees. And so once you get to the garage floor itself, you'll be able to stand up for everything for the most part, except for around the door jambs and the rails, you know, for the garage door itself. In any case, you can see here as demonstrated, you're going over this multiple times to make sure you get good consistency, good thorough coverage, and you've got a perfect distribution that's even with your clear coat. And as far as the clear coat goes, the more clear coat you put on, the higher the build and a little bit more rich and depth. You get a little bit almost as though you get a bit of a two-dimensional look if you end up putting down multiple coats of the epoxy clear coat on top of the finished product that you're applying it to. Whether it be a clear coat, you know, if it's not a clear coat, rather a solid color coat of an epoxy floor without the color chips, or if it's got the color flakes in it like we're demonstrating here in this instruction. We'll speed this up a little bit now so that you can see start to finish how this is going to look and turn out. Gives you a good concept of all of the methodologies and the tricks and the tips that we're showing. Like here in this corner, I was explaining to you how nicely this 3/8 nap 6-inch roller covers goes into these corners so nicely, and it makes it just so convenient for you to be able to apply it this way. What we're showing here is that this first coat of the clear coat, sometimes if it gets on a little bit heavy, it'll start to run. If you look really closely here as we zoom in, you can see the streaks as we freeze frame this for you to be able to observe this. You want to watch this really close so that you don't have that effect in the finish when it's dry. So we go back over it with a dry roller. We don't put any product in the 3/8 inch nap roller cover at all, and we just basically go back over it again to distribute those runs. This little short segment that I'm showing here is to demonstrate how this handy little 6-inch, 3/8 inch roller nap cover is just so perfectly suited for this kind of a situation where a foundation wall may have some excessive pits or holes or air pockets like you can see here that need to be filled. The fabric on this roller cover is just perfect and ideal for filling these areas so that you don't have any reflective areas that you don't get covered with, whether it be the epoxy or the clear coat. Now we're going to get into covering the horizontal portion of your project, in this case here a garage floor. We demonstrate how we've attached our brush to our pole here, and that makes it so handy so you can just stay standing up and just make it a little easier on your body. And it's actually probably a little bit more thorough and consistent and runs a little bit more smoothly to be able to use the brush standing up on a pole. Once that's all into place, and then you have gone around the perimeter as we show here with the 6-inch roller cover, then you're ready to go over it with the 18-inch. So now we've got our perimeter all ready and taken care of with the clear coat, and we're going to pour out some of the epoxy clear coat now, and we're going to create a windrow. Not too much. You don't want to create a problem for you going into the next section of the driveway, in this case here. Pour out just enough that you think that you can cover that 8x8 section. As you can see here demonstrated, we're using the 18-inch roller cover as a squeegee, pushing the bulk of the epoxy clear coat into place first, and you can see that the pattern is a horseshoe shape, a U shape if you will, and that way you can always be inside on dry ground when you're putting down this product. You're not going to want to go any further than the length of your pole. In this case here we have a 6-foot pole, so it makes it so we can extend it that 8-foot distance or span of these various sections that have been divided up evenly in the garage floor. And so you can see here we're going back over it multiple times. This way we can get consistency and be really super thorough, where you don't want any buildup of the epoxy at all. We want to try to avoid everything we can that also will reflect anything in way of irregularities. The rest of these segments now we'll just fast forward through the completion of this garage floor project so that you can see as we demonstrate going from section to section how we approach that and repeat the same processes over and over again, going around the perimeter, up along the garage wall, out in the between the driveway and the garage floor here, and this way when we use our 18-inch roller cover it can easily cover everything and make it all consistent. And so now the balance of the video here we'll just go through and demonstrate by way of photos and some more video clip footage of this project as it has been come to a conclusion. Getting the different angles so that you can see how this looks from one angle to another, some close-ups and some overall distance shots. This project went extremely smoothly. The weather was very favorable. Temperatures were just divine. and so we had a good end product finished here that just turned out spectacular, and the homeowner just loved what we did here. So you can do the same thing on your project, whether it be a patio, a porch, a basement, a garage floor, whatever it is that you have in mind. You can do the same thing, and the variations as far as colors and color chips, the distribution of the color chips, all of it is so fun to be able to consider what kind of a look and what kind of an effect you would like to have. You can go online and see all the various variations of these kinds of applications that others have done. This is a very simple and basic, straightforward approach to doing a color chip epoxy garage floor surface. The process takes 4 to 5 days. You've got 1 day to prep your floor. You've got another day to put down the base coat or the single coat to let dry overnight. You got your 3rd day to come back and put down your 2nd coat of epoxy. And while you're at it, while it's wet, you're going to cast in your color chips. And then your final and 4th day would be to do the clear coat. And if you had and wanted to add another couple of coats, another one for example, you'd add another 5 days. We like to see at least a day of 24 hours pass by before you apply any of the coatings. And this is the last and final video clip that we'll share with you of the finished product. Didn't this turn out just beautiful? You can do the same thing on your project, and you can create any variation of and use your creativity in any way that you want to. This garage floor has approximately a 50 to 65% cast, we call this, of the color chips, so that it reflects through the base color really well. In this case, it's a dark gray that we used on this project. You can see that the color chips on the foundation wall are a little bit lighter than they are on the floor itself. The coverage isn't quite as heavy, and this gave it just a little bit of character and reflected a little bit differently. It's been a pleasure to be your host and instructor on applying an epoxy coating with color flakes on a garage floor. I believe that we've been able to provide for you all the tricks, tips, and methodologies and tools that will ever be necessary for you to do just as a professional, neat, and clean job as what has been demonstrated for you here. We wish you the best of luck on your project, and thank you so much for joining me. And so this pretty much concludes the epoxy training course. You've seen it from start to finish now with this last segment 8 of applying the finish clear coat over your epoxy color chip finished product. And now you're able to see it really shine and have some definition to it. The clear coat definitely gives it not only a beautiful finish, but it brings out the color much more richly. And I just think that it's a wonderful crowning jewel and a final touch to the whole project. And so we'll have a concluding, my concluding remarks here, and in our concluding remarks video. And in the meantime, enjoy applying your clear coat, finish coat over your color-coated epoxy color chip project.